Welcome back to another episode, ladies and gentlemen, of On This Journey. Today I have a special guest with me. We're gonna get into real estate in the city, investing, purchasing your first home with a dear friend of mine. His name is Jerome. It's a high school mate. Let's go. Today I brought a special guest with me. You know, all my guests are special because they're thought out and they're people that I actually want on the couch. It's people that I personally admire and people that's really doing things and shaking things in the city. Today we have a good friend of mine, Jerome. How you doing, my brother?
Good. Yourself? Thanks
Very
for having
good.
me.
Yeah, for sure. Welcome to On This Journey. Before we start, I must say, me and Jerome are high school mates. You know what I mean? So shout out Sammy G. It's a lot of great people that's come out of that school. So boom. So Jerome is a real estate agent, right? He's
Yes.
a realtor in the city?
Yeah, I do. So real estate agent, but also we also do development.
Okay.
So-
I didn't know that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought you just sold homes.
Yeah. So that's my career, but
Okay.
we also we do development investments as well.
Okay.
Around the city.
Okay.
Mostly in the east, but we're also expanding everywhere else. So we're in the process of building a 24-unit building in Blackburn
wow.
Hamlet.
Blackburn. Okay. Wow.
We just acquired a lot right now to do a 10-unit in Vanier.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I stay around the Vanier area and I
Okay.
see a lot of units popping up.
Yeah.
You say you have a 10 unit coming up there?
Yeah, what we just purchased the lot to start that project.
So you didn't start yet, but you
No.
just got the lot.
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. So like, what originally inspired you to get into real estate, man? Because did you get into it right after high school or a couple of years later you got into it?
No, I started working at a bank
Okay.
as a more like a mortgage specialist.
Okay.
I really liked it. I enjoyed it. And then I purchased my first investment property in 2006.
Okay. Wow.
And I really enjoyed the process. And I kind of just went from there. The bank that I used to work at closed in 2012.
Okay.
So from there, I kind of just naturally gravitated towards going into real estate in terms of sales and broker.
Okay.
And from there, my portfolio of investment properties started to grow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I teamed up with a few partners. One is a builder, the other one is a mortgage broker. Mm-hmm. And we've grown our business quite substantially since. Yeah.
So would you say it's been like 20 years you've been in the business?
So first investment property 2006.
Okay.
And probably I would say you can say that 20
Wow,
years.
bro. That's crazy.
But as a mortgage as a real estate agent since 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. So fairly, exactly. That's a long time, man.
Yeah.
You look young, bro. That's why I
Thank
asked.
you. I
know what
appreciate that. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
But so I know the market in Ottawa has there's a lot of shifts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what would you say has been the biggest shifts like so far in the market?
Biggest shifts in terms of sales or in terms of?
In terms of probably like sales and home prices and things like that.
I would definitely say as of recent, COVID was a big one.
COVID,
that was a very big one.
Yeah, for sure. For
So
sure.
that made it, but even before COVID though, there was a pretty big shift in Ottawa. I'd say probably around 2018.
Okay.
So it was pretty slow when I had started 2014 to 2017. It was stable. Mm-hmm. From 2018, 2019, that's when immigration started to go up.
Yeah.
A lot of people from Toronto were coming to Ottawa because Toronto started imposing certain taxes that Ottawa didn't have at the time.
Yeah.
So that also boosts sales in the city.
That's true.
And then COVID just, everything just went up from there.
That's true. You know, I work at a restaurant called Margot, and I've encountered a lot of people that's moved from Toronto to Ottawa.
Yeah.
Because the Toronto market has just, you know what I'm saying? Like the prices are just crazy. You know what I'm saying over there? So I personally saw that as well. So like being in the business, I know it's very competitive. You know, the real estate business is very competitive. So what do you think sets you apart from other agents?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So I guess when I had first started, I was thinking more in terms of like I think like most people in terms of sales, money.
Of course.
Once I got into it, I actually realized I truly enjoy helping people. It actually, my first sale, I still remember I actually really enjoyed the process. It was a little stressful because you're kind of new at everything. And then after I was done, I was just so happy that, I found this individual a house that they were very happy with. Then when I realized afterwards that, I just got paid for that, I was like, that's when I realized I'm actually in the right business.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it's just helping people. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And you get rewarded for it too, right?
That's right.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so how do you go about establishing trust with your clients, man? Like,
that's actually
You know what I mean?
that's actually the tough part.
yeah,
So you have to gradually, slowly send a message that you're there to help them, not to just make money.
exactly.
So when you primarily focus on simply helping the client, and secondary is the money, they sense that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, because there's also energy, right? You know what I mean? So you could say one thing, but if your energy speaks different, you know what I mean? The
That's
client's
right.
gonna feel that, right?
Oh, 100%.
But
Yeah.
that was gonna be my next question, but you answered that already.
Yeah.
So like growing up in the city, man. So how do you see the market going in Ottawa right now? Do you think it's gonna be better for first-time home buyers, or is gonna be just as hard as it was just a little bit after COVID? You know, because
So I think in the next 2 to 3 years, Ottawa's always been a stable city compared to Toronto. Toronto's
true.
had really big ups, and now they're experiencing really big downs.
yeah, yeah,
Since 2023, I'd say mid 2022, 2023, prices have been dropping, and which is making it a little bit more affordable for some people. I know rates have also went up, which makes it a little bit harder for people to get into the market. I think in the next 2 to 3 years, there's going to be more opportunities for the first-time home buyers to purchase a home at a more reasonable rate. I think interest rates probably going to stagnate to where we are now. Some people think it's going to go up. Nobody has a crystal ball.
yeah.
Obviously, neither do I. But my prediction is that rates are going to be hover around where they are now.
Yeah.
Prices are going to probably drop at the most 5% from where we are now, at the absolute most.
Okay.
And then kind of flatline, and then kind of slowly go back up from maybe 2-3 years from now. So that's my overall prediction.
Okay. Man, I hope that's true. You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of people that are in the process of buying their first home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that would be amazing if the prices go down and interest rates go down and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say too much.
Yeah.
Because we're also in a time of a lot of inflation.
Yes.
I think everything's more expensive. Labor is more expensive. Materials more expensive.
Yes.
It's becoming more expensive for builders to build and still make a profit. So there's a lot kind of going against that.
Yeah.
But I think in the end, I believe in the free market, and I believe that in the end things balances themselves out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we're headed, which is people just can't afford the current prices.
Of course.
So there's going to have to be some form of adjustment.
Of course.
So, as I said, I would say where we are now in terms of price, we might see another 5% at the most, and it's going to kind of flatline from there. I think it's a good opportunity for people to start getting into the market.
I believe so too, for sure.
Yeah.
I've had a personal conversation with Jerome over the phone, and the things you've told me, I was very shocked. Like the numbers that you've told me, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Now is the time.
Yeah.
Now is kind of like the time to make an investment, start looking at getting your forever home and things like that. Because, prior to COVID or just after COVID, it was just crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
So what would you say is, what has been your biggest accomplishment, man, throughout your career?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
My biggest accomplishment.
It could be a big check. It could be like, it could be whatever.
No, to be honest, I never felt like a big check was an accomplishment. I think I would say one of my greatest accomplishments is our development company.
Okay.
And not necessarily in terms of the numbers we're turning out, but more in terms of partnership.
Okay.
So the partners I've been working with them for 7 to 8 years now.
Okay, wow.
And we get along very well. I trust them. They trust me. We flow very good together.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of my biggest accomplishments is working with people that we kind of flow well together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's very key as well, because you eventually kind of like become family, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The
100%.
trust that you build.
Yes.
They trust you, you trust them. So you
Yes.
guys definitely kind of like become family through business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that answer, man, for sure.
Thanks, man.
So like, looking in the future, what do you see ahead for yourself? You know, I know you got the development company, but what else do you see for yourself? What legacy would you want to leave behind?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So I think right now it's just, you know, to continue growing the development company.
Yeah.
So there's two different development companies. One is with my partners, and the other one is with my partners as well, but it's we have a group of investors with us as well.
Okay.
So my plan, or the vision that I have, is I want these people to be able to be able to retire off of the money they invested with us.
Amazing.
So I want to do everything I can to add the most possible value for these people.
Yeah.
They trusted us with their money,
Yeah.
and now we have to make sure we provide that value. So eventually what I would like to do is get to a point where we're doing something like 100 plus units.
Wow.
That would be kind of like the final stage.
Yeah.
And that would be, you know, that would give them an opportunity to say, hey, you know what, we're good now, thank you very much. And they walk away with a big check in their hands.
That's amazing.
That would feel really good for me. Yeah.
That's amazing. Had I been somebody that's investing money, that's exactly what I would want to hear too. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So like, how do you balance work life, home life, fatherhood, you know what I'm saying, with everything else that you're doing in your 24 hours?
Well, now that you mentioned fatherhood,
Yes.
I'd probably say that's probably my greatest accomplishment.
Amazing.
And probably the
feel
most
that too.
rewarding.
Yeah,
probably the
exactly.
most rewarding too. So yeah, if you were to put, you know, business aside,
Yeah.
I would definitely say that for sure.
That's
without
amazing.
a doubt. I mean, to me, it may look like it's all about the money, but it isn't.
Of course.
Where I am today, I have the opportunity to create a very healthy work-life balance between my family, you know, friends, business. How do I do it? That's a good question. I think it's just working with the right people.
Yeah.
You know, I have a very, very good assistant. She does a lot for me.
Okay.
So
Shout out the
helps a lot.
assistant. What's her name?
Yeah, Emily.
Emily. Shout out Emily.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I have good partners as well.
Okay.
That helps a lot. So it's just working with the right people.
Exactly.
Helps that, you know, dynamic of a healthy work-life balance.
Man, I truly believe that too, man.
Yeah.
Over the years, we've seen how like social media has like taken over a lot of things, like in business, you know what I mean? And you see a lot of agents online promoting, doing certain things. How do you think that affects the market, and how do you go about using that as well to attract clients, or, you know?
So using social media for branding purposes?
Yes, exactly.
So for me, I'm a little bit more old school, so I still do use social media.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of PR.
Yeah.
So I work a lot with partners, and I work a lot with family members, friends. So I think
old school way. Yeah.
The old school way,
Yeah.
and I think that's it's easier to build trust that way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm also involved in social media as well, like, you know, to a certain degree, not as much as the younger.
Yeah, of course.
So I mean, I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it does, you know,
yeah.
because I'm also an old school kind of guy, and I do believe that word of mouth is the biggest like marketing tool that you can have. You know, somebody referencing you that's had an experience with you and being like, yo, this guy did me very, you know what I'm saying? He did me right. It was great. You need to go see him.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's the biggest.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, it's but again, right, everyone is very preoccupied on their phones.
Yes.
It takes a lot of people's attention, so it only makes sense.
Of course.
You know, I would highly recommend anyone starting in the business, definitely social media, because I think it's key right now to getting your name out there and building a good business for yourself.
For sure. Yeah. So looking at, like, let's say, what type of advice you would have for, let's say, a younger guy that wants to get into real estate, you know, that doesn't know much about the market, what type of advice would you give them coming up if they want to be like somebody like Jerome? You know what I mean?
I would probably, what I would say is, don't force anything. Let things happen organically. A lot of people get in the business and it's like, I have to make sales. I got to do this. I got to do that. When I had started, I never really put that pressure on myself. I kind of just did the things that made the most sense for me.
Yeah.
And everything kind of just fell in line.
Organically.
Yeah, I was to be honest, I was pretty fortunate because I had already been investing in real estate when I got into sales.
Okay.
So I already had like income coming in.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel that pressure, and I already had like a nest egg set up.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to feel that pressure. I know some people get involved and they kind of have to, pay their bills and whatever.
Yeah.
So they have that pressure already.
Yeah.
My recommendation is try to build a nest egg for yourself before getting into something like this.
Yeah.
Because what happens is people sense that desperation from you, and people are not comfortable with that. It kind of it doesn't help build trust.
100%. 100%. It goes back to energy as well again, right?
100%.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So man, look, I want to thank you so much, man.
It's
It
my
was
pleasure.
my pleasure to have you, my brother.
Yeah.
This won't be our last conversation.
I hope so.
On and off the camera, you know what I
for
mean?
sure.
But before we leave, I want you to let them know where they could get in touch with you, plug them into your social media and things like that, Yes.
So if you'd like to get a hold of me, I have a page on Facebook, Jerome El-Dick. That's on Facebook. You can also contact me. You can send me a text message, an email, jerome.ae@hotmail.com.
Yeah.
You can also give me a call too at 613-852-1721. Anything when it comes to sales, if you're looking for an investment property, if you're looking to simply invest in real estate and just get a percentage of return, we also offer that.
Amazing.
If you want shares in a building, we also offer you that. So
amazing.
We're involved all across the board when it comes to real estate.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, my brother.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Bam.